up, wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter, back for another Monday. Good morning, C Tuck in the building. C Tuck said good morning, Flow and crew. Make sure y'all like the lives and enter. As you enter, please, and thank you in advance. Good morning to everybody. Who we got in here? Lily, Fire Glory, Angie, Elise, Danae. Danae said, good morning, Flow fam, coffee crew, and Awakened Bakers. Great news. Still cancer-free. Gonna be a good week. Congratulations, Danae. Danae says she's still cancer-free. She just got the news. Everybody, let's thank her. Before I get into this crazy show, and God bless you, Danae. Let me cover my ass, no Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Just another manic Monday. We got another Monday, y'all. Weekend is over with. Desi says that's great news. Danae, y'all, we got somebody a member of our community who is ecstatic, and we are all ecstatic with her that she is cancer free. So everybody say prayers and well wishes and congratulations and great news out to Danae. It's a nice weekend, y'all. My Browns won. We're gonna talk about some Diddy news. Oh, we got some Diddy news. And we got an update, a crazy update on the singer David. Let's like the live as you come in here. The singer David, where the story where the young lady was found, and she's actually a young girl, was found in the trunk of his Tesla while he is on tour singing. He's a pretty well-known R&B singer. Well, we got an explosive update. We got an explosive update in the David case. So we're gonna talk about that too, and whatever else pops up in the chat, and you know how we do. So yeah, let's get into it. Good morning, Shauna. Shauna spreading love, heart hands in the chat. Thank you so much, Shauna, and everybody else in the building. Life is tough, y'all. Life is tough. You can't control what the next hurdle is going to be, how high that hurdle is going to be. But you just got to attack it. You just got to attack it. One issue, you got to put out one fire at a time. And ain't nothing tougher than being a parent. So all the parents out there, we gonna get through it, but it's definitely not an easy thing. But just remember, all you can do is do the best you can and let God handle the rest. But I am this Diddy Trump pardon. Oh yeah, the Browns won. I'm gonna get into the Diddy part. Yes, my Browns won. My Browns kicked ass, and they took names from the Miami Dolphins. We now know the name of everybody on the Dolphins team because we kicked ass and we took everybody's name, and we got it. So all my Miami listeners, Miami fans, whether you follow me on social media or listen to the podcast, I want to let you know it was a pleasure kicking y'all ass this weekend and taking y'all names. So shout out to the Browns for that. Victory Monday. So yeah, let's get back. This man, first of all, that David, wait till we get into that David update. I'm gonna get this Diddy shit out the way first. Then we're gonna get into David, because this update on that unaliving sexual assault, I don't know what happened with that young girl, but this next update really points more fingers at David. So anyway, this Diddy and Trump pardon situation is like Michael Myers. It won't fucking die. And it's getting on my nerves. It's like when you're watching a scary movie and you see the killer, the monster, the killer get their head chopped off. They get broken into a million pieces and drowned or whatever. And you think he finally gone. And then you see the killer come emerge from the lake back hunting. And you say to yourself, I thought this motherfucker was dead. I swore he was dead. Now he back trying to kill people again. That's what this damn Trump pardoning Diddy story is like. It's like it will never fucking die. Trump is not pardoning him, but over the weekend, some message or somebody came talking about, it was on the Ricky Smiley show, and not everybody picked up this story, but some of the big platforms picked it up, and it was like Diddy could be free in 48 hours off from a Trump pardon. And I'm like, where did this story even come from? It's like somebody paying. I think Melissa said she thinks it was one of his attorneys that was saying that, and then it went around. I don't know. But I'm like, at this point, I agree, Melissa. It might be his attorneys or somebody, but I do know one thing. It's coming from Diddy's side. It's coming from Diddy's side. Like, at this point, I believe they are just trying to put the story out there to try to make it, to try to force Trump's hand or something. It's something to it. Like Melissa says, like the attorneys are doing PR. And the thing about it, it's already been 48 hours. Spoiler alert, it's already been 48 hours from the time of the story dropped. So I don't understand, but let me just go into it a little bit. Did you see it? Let's see. Diddy. We're going to go from the Ricky Smiley. I was like, why did they post this on the Ricky Smiley morning show? Like, seriously. Diddy's release could happen in 48 hours if Trump signs his pardon. Then it goes on to say, the 55-year-old music mogul currently serving 4 years and 2 months behind bars for federal charges related to the transportation of individuals for prostitution, has formally requested clemency from Trump. During a press meeting at the White House, we know that Trump said a lot of people have asked him for pardons. Trump's remarks immediately sparked nationwide speculation about whether he might actually sign the pardon and what that would mean for Combs and his immediate future. Legal analyst Chad Cummings spoke to the Mirror U.S. to clarify what would happen if Trump grants the request and how soon Diddy could walk out of prison. Now, according to Cummings, a presidential pardon would effectively wipe away Diddy's conviction. If Trump pardons Diddy, the conviction disappears and the sentence ends, he explained. A full presidential pardon wipes out the legal effect of the conviction. He added that while a pardon doesn't technically prove innocence, it does nullify the punishment and erase the legal consequences tied to the case. Cummings went on to explain that once a pardon is signed, the Bureau of Prisons would move quickly to process Diddy's release. In the best case scenario, he could walk within 24 to 48 hours, he said. Even then, there are logistical steps like confirmation, paperwork, and coordination with the facility. Red tape or security concerns might slow things slightly, but political pressure could speed up. He also noted that presidential pardons are final and irreversible. Federal pardons cannot be blocked or undone, and once issued, no court or prosecutor can challenge it. Cummings said, the only real pushback that exists is public opinion, but that carries no legal weight. Now, the potential release of one of hip hop's most influential figures has sparked a wave of debate. Supporters argue that Diddy deserves a second chance, pointing to his decade-long impact on music and culture, while critics say a pardon could send the wrong message about accountability. For now, the decision lies entirely in the President Trump's hand, and if he decides to act, Sean Diddy Combs could be walking out of prison in less than 2 days, marking one of the most dramatic celebrity legal turnarounds in recent memory. To all that I say, cut the crap. Cut the crap. Ain't no fucking pardon happening. I'm tired of even, and I'm only talking about it because a lot of big publications talked about it, and that's what we do on this podcast, is go over what's trending, explain it, cut through the weeds, and see what the hell really is going on. But in my opinion, ain't no fucking pardon. I'm tired of them talking about it. I'm tired of talking about it. I would love for it to be over with. But Diddy, I believe his attorneys and whoever else he's paid off, y'all know he's been paying people off a lot. But whoever else he's paying off in the media, they are circulating this story on their own. Okay, first super chat of the day. Let's see what we got here. $1.99, $2 holla. Angelina, thank you so much. She says the Browns won, no Kings won, and the Dodgers won. Thank you, Angelina, for all the great updates. And yeah, the No Kings thing was a big turnout all across the world, all across the United States, I should say. Definitely. And it got the attention of Trump because he definitely was trying to downplay it. And I believe if that was true, Trump even dropped a little AI video dropping what appeared to be diarrhea on all the protesters. I don't know if that was real or not, but it sounds like it seemed like it was. Good morning, Tahara. Tahara says, good morning, Tasha. Everybody's piling on in. Hey, Angie, one of the Angies, one of my Angies. We got one of my Angies in the building. You know, we got about 50 Angies in the Flow community. Angies, Angelas, Angelinas, everything in between. Yeah, that is what people are saying. Thank you, Danae. They're trying to bring in that Trump will pardon Diddy because Trump pardoned George Santos, which was very controversial. A lot of people don't think very highly of George Santos, and because of that, people are trying to say, well, if he, in their mind, George Santos is a shady motherfucker. So they're saying if Trump just pardoned that shady person, many people believe Diddy is next up to bat. I don't. I definitely don't. I don't see one coming at all. But who knows? Who knows? People are coming out the woodwork. Little Rod case is starting off. We got definitely something else I wanted to bring to your attention. It says I got with an announcement, not an announcement, but Tyrone Blackburn once said not too long ago that playtime is over. Playtime is over. We look forward to discovery. I hope the defendants are ready. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. Little Rod's lawsuit might be the straw that's going to break Diddy's back, because so many parts of Lil Rod's lawsuit are what you want to call could be criminal, could become criminal. But can't none of that happen without discovery. Without discovery, we have no evidence. And without evidence, we have no criminal case. So we have an update also in the matter of Palm versus Combs. Judge has the plaintiff attorney's motion denied. Original basis for withdrawal remain legitimate, but Mitchell and Perez may re-enter as plaintiff counsel if plaintiff decide to retain them. Now, this is from the Ashley Parham case. And the update says, this is from the court paperwork, order denying motion of reconsideration because that case has been basically dropped. It says this case arises from the alleged gang R of plaintiff Ashley Parham that occurred on March 23rd, 2018 in California. Plaintiffs, now you remember this is the one that got Drewski involved, Odell Beckham, Jaguar Wright, and it just this lawsuit fell apart. It came out that Jaguar Wright was actually allegedly in prison at this time, so she couldn't have been involved. Drewski didn't have $1, so he was living in Atlanta broke, so he was not even in California at that time. And Odell Beckham continues to say he's innocent. And so this case kind of fell apart at the seams. And so this is what the final ruling, or the latest ruling, I should say. Plaintiff admitted their complaint to add Drew as the defendant of the lawsuit. Then counsel Ariel Mitchell and Sean Perez under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure. After the lawsuit was filed, Drew counsel sent plaintiff's counsel evidence showing that Drew was in Georgia at the time of the alleged rape. Drew's sanctions motion was denied on the basis that plaintiff's counsel had reasonable basis to sue Drew at the time he was added to the complaint. But plaintiff's counsel was ordered to show cause why sanctions should not be issued for statements they made at the July 10, 2025 hearing that plaintiffs were still intending to pursue their claims against Drewski despite the new evidence received. Plaintiff's counsel failed to respond in order to show cause by the required date. On September 30th, 2025, the court granted Mitchell and Perez motion to withdraw as plaintiffs. Mitchell and Perez have now moved to leave a filed motion of reconsideration, and that motion has been denied. It is not clear exactly what ruling the motion seeks to have reconsidered. The court has already ruled in Mitchell and Perez's favor as Drewski's original motion for sanctions. The newly discovered video evidence in which Drewski appears to admit that he does not have his own phone plan or pay his own phone bill, but instead has always been on his grandmother's cell phone plan, does not change the court's determination that there appeared to be a reasonable factual basis for naming Drewski in that amended complaint. To the extent that the motion seeks reconsideration and in order to show cause, the court has not entered a ruling as to that issue yet. Plaintiff's counsel did not timely file a written explanation as required. The motion will be construed as a blatant response to the order in order to show cause. The court will consider that evidence along with Drewski's response in assessing the order to show cause. However, it is worth noting that the video at issue does not bear on what information plaintiff's counsel had at a time that made the statements at the hearing. To the extent that the motion seeks reconsideration of the decision to allow Mitchell and Perez to withdraw as plaintiff's counsel, their original basis for withdrawal remained legitimate, but Mitchell and Perez may re-enter if the plaintiff decides to retain them. Plaintiffs were ordered to have new counsel file a notice of appearance, and it is so ordered. That case is just falling apart. I'm pretty sure at some point that one's going to be just totally dismissed, but we shall see. What else do we got in the Diddy news? In the matter of Lovelace versus Diddy Combs, this is in Florida. The state of Florida has been summoned someone to the state of Florida. To all of the singular sheriffs of said state, you are hereby committed to serve this summons and a copy of the complaint or petition, request for production, and request for admissions in the above style case upon the defendant, Sean Combs. Each defendant is required to serve written defenses to said complaint on Rebecca Martinez, and the defendants listed are Sean Combs, Bad Boy Records, Bad Boy Enterprises, and Doe Corporations, which I don't know if those are unlisted corporations, but what we do know is Diddy has been summoned in the matter of Lovelace versus Combs. Now, Lovelace versus Combs, what the hell is that about? Let me pull that information up. Combs, like I said before, it's like one case after another. These lawsuits are not stopping anytime soon. And this one he's being summoned to. This is from USA Today. This is Chelsea Lovelace, y'all. Sean Diddy Combs' accuser reveals her identity in lawsuit alleging 4-year pattern of abuse. More than 8 months after accusing Sean Diddy Combs of sexually abusing and manipulating her over a 4-year period, in a 2024 lawsuit, a woman has come forward to identify herself. Chelsea Lovelace described her as a Florida business owner, entrepreneur, and model. On June 13th, filed an amended complaint in the New York Supreme Court using her own name as plaintiff, replacing the anonymous name Jane Doe she's used in her September 27th filing. She alleges, now this is what they saying Diddy did. She alleges that between 2021 and 2024, Combs pressured her to regularly travel to meet him and ingest illicit substances. She was also ordered to have sex with other men and women and otherwise do his bidding by leveraging the allowance he was paying her. The claims and timeline mirror testimony Combs' former partner gave on the stand of the criminal child. So take a quick break and catch up, and we'll see what's going on here. So now, this Chelsea woman is claiming the same things that Cassie claimed, the same things that Jane, the other victim in Diddy's infamous trial that we just finished, she is having the same claims now. Lovelace's filing comes after Combs' legal team sought the court to issue a ruling that would compel her to use her legal name. Lovelace's attorney, Joseph Ciacio, said in a statement in USA Today, before the court made any decision on that, my client decided herself to come forward publicly on her own terms. In response to Lovelace's amended complaint, Combs' team told USA Today in a statement reiterating, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. Combs is on trial for charges of sex trafficking, transportation, and all of that. We knew all of that. And we know the outcome of that. Chelsea Lovelace also said that the relationship with Diddy turned into manipulation, control, and abuse. He also shared a statement from Lovelace, who said of her alleged relationship with Combs, there was a time I truly believed we shared something real. In my heart, for a time, I believe he genuinely cared about me. That we both cared for one another and that we meant something to each other. But over time, that illusion shattered. Does this sound familiar? Good morning, Sybil. What I once thought was love and loyalty quickly turned into manipulation, control, and abuse. I was not seen as a person with a soul, but as a pawn in a much larger game. I didn't want to believe what was happening. I wrestled with God, with my heart, and with my own silence. She clarified that the lawsuit was not an act of revenge, but rather an act of release, of standing in her truth, of choosing healing over hiding. Lovelace added that eventually silence became too heavy to bear. Lovelace concluded by saying she believes that light exposes what needs to be healed. And I believe that the truth, even when it hurts, is the beginning of freedom. She also noted, today I choose to walk forward with my head held high and my voice intact. Lovelace has sued Combs for sexual assault, sexual battery, and infliction of emotional distress. She alleges that she first met him November 5th, 2020, on a 3-day trip to Turks and Caicos for which he paid for. She says he flew her back to his Miami estate on November 7th, 2020, and sent her home November 9th. They started seeing each other around early 2021. However, does this not sound so fucking familiar, y'all? However, she claims her monthly trips with Combs or to meet him were not of her own volition. Combs and his accomplices would use coercive and harassing language to compel her to comply. Lovelace's lawsuit states she went on to detail several alleged incidents, including forced and coerced sex with Combs, as well as other people, blacking out from alcohol and other substances various times and realizing he was tracking her cell phone. So basically, Chelsea Lovelace, that's her name, but we're going to call her Chelsea, just so you know, when I say Lovelace, I'm speaking on Chelsea. Chelsea experienced a lot of the same crap Cassie, Gina, Jane Doe, and a bunch of the other women experienced. The only difference is, for whatever reason, she wasn't in this case. She wasn't in the trial of the century. Why? Who knows? Chelsea also described Combs allegedly discouraging her from working and paying her an allowance that he would use as leverage to control her. Same old, what we heard from the trial. Saying you're gonna pay bills or hanging allowance money over somebody's head in exchange for freak offs and different illegal sexual behaviors is frankly illegal. Now, if the feds were to come back and double down on the prostitution charges, they may come back, and this is what I'm thinking the feds are thinking, and this is why I'm telling y'all and describing this show to let everybody know. Thank you, Fire Glory, for the $2 super sticker. $2 holla, Fire Glory. Thank you so much. Always a big supporter of the show. I appreciate it. But let's dive into this. Now, if I'm the feds, and I'm not, but if I'm the feds, and I see we didn't get RICO charges, and I want to get Diddy, the smart thing to do would be to double down on the charges you did get a conviction. Now, follow me. They got a resounding guilty decision on the prostitution charges. So what I'm thinking the feds are going to double down on the Mann Act charges and come with more Mann Act charges for Diddy. And this would fit, especially if Chelsea did the same thing as him. If he flew in, worked sex workers, and did all the stuff he did to get him the original prostitution conviction. Looks like Chelsea along with a few other cases that's floating around, can also make their way on a judge's desk. I'm not going to say the judge's desk, but it could make its way on a judge's desk. And the judge will look at Diddy as, first of all, he's already been convicted of a felony, so he's a 2-time felon, or 1-time. I don't know if they consider that 2-time because he has 2 felony prostitution cases. I think that's a 2-time felon. And not only that, but he's already been convicted of this prostitution shit. And so when you see lawsuits where women are claiming the same thing that these other women have managed to get a conviction on Diddy of, Diddy ass could be in trouble. Diddy could be in trouble. And I think that's what the feds are leaning in on. I think they're going to group all of these prostitution and just double down on the man. Big R with the 19.99, but we on this show we call that a $20 holla. Thank you so much, Big R, for the $20 holla, 19.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are great. Everything, I think. And also, let me follow up Big R's super chat. She has some passion in this statement. Big R says, I think if people would stop trying to sue for money and just tell on his ass, something may stick, but it's looking like just money grabs. Just go to the lawyers instead of the police. Yeah, that's a true statement, Big R. It definitely looks like a money grab, and that does hurt your case. Lily says she hates when the stupid ads boot her off the chat. Yeah, they known for that. They be coming with them ads, man, especially on my content. I don't know why they coming with those ads on here. Big R, this is getting sick. But that's why I brought it up, because Diddy is now being summoned. Diddy is being summoned. He gonna have to answer some questions on this Chelsea case. What else we got? Any Diddy news before we go on? Let me double check. Make sure there's nothing that I wanted to cover. Okay. The one with Lisa Bloom. Before we get to this, David. In the matter of Doe versus Combs, the one with the Las Vegas entertainer rep by Lisa Bloom. There have been a pre-trial motion sequence calendar reset. So the defendant's motion to dismiss is due on or before December 11, 2025. Plaintiff's opposition shall be due on or before January 15, 2026. And defendant's reply shall be due on or before February 12, 2026. So that one is no big news, but we just got a timeline date. Now, let's move over to David. The singer David. Now we know he's a singer. There was a young girl found in the trunk of his Tesla. He went on to sing and continue his tour like nothing ever happened. Now we're starting to get a lot of evidence coming out. Evidence that don't look good for this singer. He's been dating this woman, or I keep calling her a woman. She's a girl. She was always a girl. She died a girl in his trunk, or was put in his trunk. But footage came out of him being with Celeste. This is the David and Celeste story. Celeste was a 12, 13, 14, somewhere in the 12, 13 range when he met her, allegedly, and maybe 15 when she was found in the trunk. And so things have been going on. People are wondering why haven't he been arrested? What does his manager have going on? They have moved out of the mansion they were renting where this bullshit allegedly may have taken place. And it is so crazy. It is so crazy that the owner of the home that the singer David was living in, the owner has hired their own private investigator, the owner of the mansion. He has hired his own private investigator to find out what the hell happened. Not to mention, his manager rented this home from this guy, and the guy didn't even know that the singer David was even living there. So what were they hiding, or what was the big secret? That's what we want to find out. But the private investigator found out some explosive news or evidence. They found footage of that Tesla. Y'all know that Tesla that was David's Tesla that was found and towed to a tow yard because it was parked somewhere. It wasn't. They pulled it away from the house. Well, they've actually found the footage of the car being driven to that parking spot and left. And there were some strange things. I had to take some notes. And where I got this from was from the private investigator Steve Fisher was on News Nation with I believe her name is Ashley, the lady Ashley. And he told about everything that he found. And his footage. And it was some stuff that I'm gonna get to in a second that he found inside of the home that was also alarming. But let me tell you some things he noticed. He said the one window was cracked down as the person drove it in a weird way. He said it wasn't a particularly hot day, but the window was 3/4 of the way down. No other window was down. A person might say, hey, that shows that since the windows were down, what that shows is maybe that car was stinking. And to add to that, there was a Christmas tree air freshener that was put in the window. I mean, in up. You know how you put those incense, hang them over your mirror or whatever. Well, there was a Christmas tree incense air freshener that was hanging. More evidence that car was stinking, and they were trying to hide the smell. Now, another thing. Before we get to what was at the house, let's tell you another thing that was strange, or that was coincidental. This private investigator said that That Tesla that had that young lady, the one they found with the girl in there in the trunk, dismembered, that Tesla was dropped off literally moments, hours before David and the rest of his crew would leave for a tour. And I believe they headed to San Francisco first. And how do we know that? Well, you know, these days they put everything goes on internet. Everything goes on the internet. Everything somebody does, everything, everything, they post everything, which is a good thing for authorities. And so the private investigator noticed that hours from the timestamp and the date of that Tesla being driven, like it was dropped off, they headed out for tour. And the window being cracked allowed them to see who was driving. Now, the private investigator would not say who was driving the Tesla, but he did say, or some of his context clues pointed to one of David's good friend. His name is Neo. I'm about to confirm that his name is Neo, but I'm pretty sure Neo is what they said. Yeah, Neo. So Neo, a lot of people believe Neo was the last one driving that Tesla. And Neo has been wiped from social media clean. From David's social media clean. This one gets crazier before it gets normal. This is crazy. And so receipts, again, let me reiterate, receipts show that David and Neo, who had been constantly together, no longer follow each other on Instagram. So what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez and who put her in the front of that Tesla trunk? So many things have been thrown around. Like, for example, they have a picture that's on David's, an old picture from David's Instagram page, where him and Neil are laying together. His shirt says, this is David's shirt. This shirt, you can't see it because it's backwards, but it says, "Sounds gay, I'm in." Sounds gay, I'm in. Which means, people start speculating. Did Celeste see, was she caught up in some freaky triangle with David and Neil and her? People are saying, was David had some secret bisexual whatever going on? Who knows? But did Celeste find out something and then they needed her gone? And was Neil forced to be the one to help David carry out this horrific crime? All of a sudden, him and Neil aren't talking? And you mean to tell me Neo, the last, possibly, or whoever the last person to drive that Tesla, you mean to tell me they haven't put that out there? If the private investigator has this footage, wouldn't LAPD have that footage? And if you saw somebody driving that Tesla, wouldn't you either take them into custody or put the information out there, say, hey, we have a person that we need to talk to, a person of interest. They were the last person that we saw driving this crime scene ass vehicle. Follow me, y'all. What? Why is this not making sense? Is this not only not making sense to me or anybody in the chat? Do y'all understand what the hell is going on? They definitely put air freshener in the car for a reason. And what was the timeline of this? I know a body can't be like the fact that it was a Christmas air freshener at that. I don't know. It just seems strange. Excuse me. Elise says, Neo may be covering up for him. Sure, I'm thinking something, but why aren't we hearing anything? Why are we hearing information from a private investigator? And don't tell me it's to protect the investigation, because you're hindering the investigation if you have people that need to be spoken with and you haven't said anything. And I'm talking about, when I say you, I'm talking about the authorities. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So now, with all that not making sense, guess what this private investigator found inside the home? I gotta take a sip of this. I gotta take a caffeine sip before I get into this. Put a 1 in the chat if you know the crazy item that was found in David's home that definitely screams something horrible went on in this house or around this house. So y'all ain't seen it. So I see a lot of twos. I see twos in the chat. Y'all ain't seen it. Oh yeah, Monique. What did they find? Let's see if Monique know. Monique put 1. What did they find, Monique, in the house? Grandma Kathy. I know Grandma Kathy been all over this case. Let us know what they found in the house, Kathy and Monique. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it on the big board, and then we're gonna go into it. Monique or Grandma Kathy, waiting for y'all to throw something in the chat for us. But this case is, I don't understand what's going on. It took the private investigator to tell us about the footage of somebody driving it and all of that, driving the Tesla. Okay, you can't tell me, if you are the LAPD, you can't give me no good excuse of why. Let's see. So Grandma Kathy said what was found in the house was satanic rituals and stuff. Okay, that was found, but that's not what I'm speaking of. So then let's get to it. So of course, satanic, demonic stuff was found. We already know that David, his music is talking about devilish stuff. But when I found this out, y'all, I was like, okay, holy hell, like what the hell? This private investigator, I need everybody listening in. I need everybody listening in. This private investigator This private investigator found what he called large, expensive items that would only be used to get rid of dead bodies or a dead body. Let me repeat. This private investigator found in the home that David was secretly renting, this mansion that the landlord didn't even know he lived at. David's manager actually rented it for him and kept David a secret. In this home, I repeat, the private investigator says there were large, expensive items that would only be used to hide a dead body or get rid of a dead body. And also, like Tara said, they said the cops took photos of the stuff, but didn't take the stuff. Now, I'm not a detective, but why? They didn't say exactly what, Angie. He kept it vague, and I believe he kept it like that for a reason. But these items were brand new, too. So I don't know what it could be. We might soon find out. But whatever it is, what do you have stuff in your house that would be helpful in getting rid of a dead body? What do you have that for? Why wouldn't the authorities take that stuff, though, is what I'm asking. Big R said she's going down to help this investigation because they poochie footing around, and it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. What would you have that for? And again, nobody has been questioned about this shit. They're supposed to have all kind of footage on a Tesla. They have cameras everywhere in California. They got all type of people coming out, speaking out. Yet, for a horrible crime like this, we don't have anybody even that has so much has been taken in for questioning. It just does not make sense. It just does not make sense. I don't know. It just does not make sense. Tara says David also has a home not far from the other house, and they say that's where he kept her. So I ask again, Neo, what do you know? The walls are closing in. This private investigator is on y'all ass. And as long as this private investigator is on y'all ass, the LAPD is gonna have to get the rocks out their ass and get to moving. Grandma Catchy said, I told you months ago that he did it with help. This is really sad. Too bad the parents weren't there. Nope. And we will be tuning in, y'all. We will be tuning in. Everybody, thank you for another Monday, another successful Flow Show No Filter show. We went over Diddy, David, and all the craziness going on. I am still in disbelief of this David story. I hope this week we get some more concrete information because this is ridiculous. As you know, Diddy, who knows what the next day will bring in the Diddy story, but whatever it is, I will be covering it. Let's get to my mouse in the chat. If you are subscribed or want to support the show, please go to the Buzzsprout link in the description box and join, or do a $3 donation, or you can do up to like a $23 monthly donation. Also, you can join my YouTube channel, and you get the exclusive video versions of our Wednesday show, where it's only exclusive. It's exclusive only. We call that our for members only episode. We do that every Wednesday, so I look forward to seeing y'all. Other than that, let me put the Buzzsprout link in the box. If you want to support the podcast, like many others have been doing, come on with it. Come on and support. Join the best community online. Let's get to our mouse in the chat, y'all. Got a lot of work to do today. You know it's a Monday. You know those Mondays. I hate Mondays. But much love to everybody. Let's see what we got in here. Let's put the Buzzsprout subscription in there. We need to follow. Yeah, we got to follow this case all the way. So we about to get up on it. We about to get on this case all the way. We about to get on this case all the way, because something ain't right. Something stinks. And let's get out here on it. This is why we got to follow the case. Let's get out of here on this note. Like Tracy White says, why does a private PI find proof in less than a week, but the feds go for a month without info? What the hell is wrong with these people? And on that note, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love every single last one of y'all. But I'm